9 Plus Us presents the Baseball Together podcast with your hosts, Blackjack Brad and Kansas City Little Big Briggy Blue Eyes. And now, Baseball Together.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Baseball Together podcast, Baseball Family. I am Brad, and as always, I am joined by Brig.
What's up, Baseball Family? Keeping it real today.
That's right, keeping it real. So, Baseball Family, we are here for you this week to bring you lots of baseball content. We're going to talk about the Phillie Phanatic. We're going to talk about whoever Mason Saunders is. And then we're going to talk about some proposed rule changes because it seems like they just keep coming down. So we're going to go over some more that came down just within the last couple days. It's Friday night, so for us, this is brand new stuff.
True story.
Before we get into any of that stuff, for those of you watching on YouTube, you will notice that Brig has on a special shirt today.
What?
Brig, can you show the people the shirt?
They're seeing it.
All right, they're seeing it. Let's talk about it. Let's describe it for those of you who are just listening. So, what Brig is wearing today is a Heather True Royal Blue t-shirt with the number 42 in white. Okay, so obviously we know why the number 42 is important to baseball fans, right?
That's right. Yep.
So we thought, why not make a tribute shirt? I actually had all the credit goes to Brig on this. He's the one who came up with this. And it's cool because the 42 is in white and it looks like a chalk line. Mm-hmm. It's like a chalk line on the field, and it's kind of been kicked around a little bit. And the number 42. And then in the bottom of the 2, there is the 9 Plus Us swoosh logo.
Right there. Yep.
So this was released Saturday night on the group. This is why we want you to join the VIP group, because you'll get early releases along with discount codes usually, right?
That's exactly right. Yep.
So that's one of the benefits of joining the group. So join the Facebook group. You can interact with us there and everything like we always talk about. But you'll also get these early drops with discount codes. Now, Brig, did you have something else 42 you wanted to show the people?
Yes, but I will do that in segment 2.
Oh, that is what we call a tease.
Yeah, you know it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, so I talked about the Facebook group. You can get in touch with us there. You can also get in touch with us on Instagram at Baseball Together, or search 9 Plus Us. You can interact with us and like pictures and stuff and videos on there. We put a lot of podcast segments on there. You can also submit to our mailbag on Baseball Together. There's a link on every episode page in the description on iTunes and wherever you listen to your podcast, but also there's a link on YouTube. You can also interact with us on YouTube. Leave us comments and things that you want to hear about there, whatever. We'll see it, and we can always answer your questions there. You can talk to me on Twitter at Jojo Cornrow, and we're still waiting on Brig to get a little bit more active on Twitter before we do anything there. So,
listen, here's the other thing. Wait, at the end of this podcast episode, I'm going to drop a special podcast and YouTube only discount code. So for those of you listening, don't, you can skip to the end if you want, I guess, but don't go anywhere, because we're going to do a special discount code. Maybe I'll bury it in the middle. Yeah.
There we go. That's a good spot.
Not at the I'm going to bury it in the middle.
A little Easter egg somewhere in the middle. We'll do that.
Yes.
All right. Well, Brig, should we go ahead and get into this?
Oh yeah, buddy. I took a drink as you asked that question.
It's calculated. All right. First, let's start with this. The Phillie Phanatic got a makeover this week.
Yep.
We knew it was coming. We heard some rumors about it. It came. So it does look a little bit different. I honestly think the Phillie Phanatic is the best mascot in sports. Forget baseball. Sports.
Hands
the personality,
down.
The look. The Phanatic is so much fun. I love the Phillie Phanatic, and to be completely honest, I think that the makeover is just fine. To me, it's just a modernization, kind of an update.
Sure.
What's your take on it, Brig? What do you think?
I mean, like, you avoided a lawsuit. Way to go.
Yeah.
It's like yeah. You also avoided paying somebody for their artwork, so like that's boo. It's like
yeah.
My opinion is twofold. I think that there's some curmudgeonry going on both sides. It turned into poopy pantsery, and now we ended up with a blue tail. So I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the powder blue tail. The eyes and the stars and stuff, I think it's cool. Like, I mean, it's noticeable. The stirrups are different stuff. Like, it's fine. I like the bell on the side of the shoe, though. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah. I don't know if that was there before, but that's a sweet feature.
To me, it feels like they just kind of tighten it up. You know?
Yeah.
Like the old stirrups kind of got like floppy and like big and like looked like saggy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But now like with like the blue socks that it has, it's like a little bit tighter. The shoes are updated, more modern. They don't look like they've been running like 5,000 marathons and they're worn out, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
They're a little bit Sonic the Hedgehog shoes, which I think is pretty cool. But I don't know. I think the Phanatic looks great. So
the only issue I have is the blue tail. That's it. I'm like, come on, man. But I mean, they're putting the powder blue in, which I like. I don't know. That's just the only thing I'm not so crazy about.
Yeah, it feels a little out of place.
That's it. That's all. Just out of place. Yeah, it's a perfect word for it.
Yep. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about who is this Mason Saunders guy. I love it. By the way, it's so funny. So for anybody who doesn't know, it came out this last week that Madison Bumgarner, who is a known equestrian, I don't know if you call him cowboy. He's a cowboy.
He's a cowboy. Yeah,
he's a cowboy.
Totally.
You know, he spends the off season on a ranch. He has a ranch, and he got his wife a cow when they got married, something like that. And you listen to him talk. He is an absolute cowboy.
Totally.
Well, it turns out he is also a big fan of calf roping because he's been entering rodeos and competing as a calf roper under the name Mason Saunders, which to me is just like, that's the best thing ever. Of course, this giant block of a man who's a pitcher is entering rodeos with an alias, hoping that nobody recognizes him. Instead, everybody's like, "Yeah, that's Madison Bumgarner, but he rodeos under Mason Saunders, whatever." It's cool. I like it. It's fun.
Yeah,
you know. But here's the best thing about it. He's really, really, really good at it.
Is he?
Yeah, he won. I think I heard that he won like either $2,600 or $26,000 in a rodeo, just within the last like year or so.
Well, I mean that's like a huge difference.
It is a huge difference. Somebody said 26,000, but I'm thinking it's 2,600.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It could be because it was a major, like it was a big rodeo.
Oh wow,
that he entered. Yeah, he was like top 6 out of like 600 competitors.
Whoa, that's awesome.
So it could be 26,000.
I mean, it could be.
Yeah. Yeah, and not only this, but get this, Brig. This is how good he is. So there's two people. I mean, we had, for anybody who doesn't know, Brig and I went to college together, and we actually took a magazine writing class together. And our professor was a calf roper as well.
Totally.
So he taught us a little bit about it.
Yeah.
So there's two people. There's two parts to roping a calf. There's the header and the heeler. Madison Bumgarner is the heeler. Now, in this magazine writing class, we had to learn how to rope. We learned how to rope a chair.
A chair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which, first off, is way harder than it looks. Even from like, what were we, like 10 feet away?
Yeah, it was wicked hard. Nobody was moving.
Yeah, nothing. Feet were on the ground. Yeah. Both feet on the ground. Nobody was pushing the chair away from us.
No.
And we had to rope the chair, which is way bigger than, like, I can't imagine trying to get that rope under the back legs of a calf and then pull it just in time as that rope gets right underneath there. And that's what he does.
That's amazing.
He's the healer. So yeah, so that's his job, and it's fantastic. I mean, I've kind of hijacked this whole segment, Brig, but
way to go, Brad.
Did you hear about this before, or was that when I first told you about it?
I saw him on a horse. Mm-hmm. Or like dismounting mid sort of, I don't know, trot or whatever, mid gallop. But I didn't know what it was, and I was like, "That's what it looks like a rodeo." But that's all I know. So you are telling me about it in depth for the first time. But I remember that chair. That was hard. I have pictures or video or something. I don't know. I'll see if we can put it up. If I don't hold me to this, I might not be able to find it, but maybe.
I'm going to try to find mine because I'm pretty sure I know right where it is.
Okay.
So I'll find mine, and maybe we can put them both up. I don't know.
That's cool.
But yeah, we've tried it. It's difficult. The fact that he's that good is amazing.
Well,
Just
and they
absolutely amazing.
Look, they make the ropes look like supple, and they're not, man. These ropes are like stiff and taut. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was eye-opening for me.
Yeah. Well, and here's the other thing with this too is that somebody asked the D-backs about it and like, no, we had no idea.
Oh, they
no clue
didn't?
that he was doing this. Yeah, they didn't know.
It wasn't like hey, you can rodeo more often in Arizona.
Yeah, no, because
that's what we do here.
He had that dirt bike accident a couple years ago that was a breach of contract.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure that's where the alias came from.
Sure.
And then somebody asked the D-backs about it, like, oh, it wouldn't have changed anything, but we didn't know about it. But we're,
But
whatever.
they're good with it. Oh my word.
I think it's one of those things where they're not going to say they're not good with it.
Yeah.
But I don't think they are necessarily good with it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
Dude,
they're probably just going to be like, just please be careful. Don't lose a thumb.
Yeah. Don't break your knee on the way off of that horse galloping.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Oh, man. It's too funny.
I
thought that was too funny.
Dismount. My rodeo knowledge is clearly fleeting.
Need to go watch yourself a rodeo, Brig.
I am so allergic to horses, I will literally die.
Oh, man.
I'm so allergic to horses, bro, that if I watch a rodeo on TV, I got to go to the emergency room. It's bad, man.
And see, like, I can go to rodeos, but I can't sit like front row.
Yeah.
And I definitely can't ride the horse. But I've been to a couple, and it's actually a lot of fun.
Guess how we found out I was allergic to horses?
You were riding one.
No, I went to a rodeo.
There you go.
I went to a petting zoo one time and had a bad experience, and we didn't know which animal it was or whatever. So I went to a rodeo, and okay, short story. Go to the rodeo. It's a family reunion every summer. We do it every year. And we go to Strawberry Days Rodeo, Pleasant Grove, Utah, and the whole friggin' family's there. And I'm like, I can't breathe well, and my, all the mucus and everything, and my eyes are starting to close. And my parents are like, this is like 1994. They're like, take the keys, go get in the car, in those old steel Suburbans that are built like, tanks.
Like a tank.
Yeah. So I go get in there. I lock the door. They told me to lock the door. So I lie down in the back seat. I fell asleep. And I woke up to pounding on the glass back window and flashing lights.
Oh my gosh,
dude! And they were like literally about to break the door or the window to open the car door to get me out. They thought I had died.
Oh my gosh.
In the back seat of that Suburban, I rolled over like, what?
I'm sleeping. Leave me alone.
Oh, man. Yeah, so I don't do horses at all.
Yeah.
It's too bad, though.
Ugh, man.
All right, so let's check it out, right? The Yankees are already, I like how you worded this. The Yankees are already a MASH unit.
I mean, they were last year, right?
Oh, man, dude.
Like,
they were the MASH unit last year.
Yeah.
And now they're already falling apart.
Yeah. So let's get them caught up on this. So it came out this week. Luis Severino needs Tommy John. We were actually going to talk about his forearm stiffness or his soreness last week. We just didn't get to it.
Yeah.
But that forearm's been bothering him since what, October?
Yeah, since October.
Yeah. So you think they would have been able to get this taken care of, like started in November at least, right?
Or like, I don't know. I'm so pissed.
October, I don't know, but they should have done it a long time ago. It seems like, because I don't feel like he's done any more damage to it now since then.
Okay, but I listen. For the opposite opinion, I've had plenty of surgeries. That's no fun, man. Like, you don't want.
No, I know. Yeah, and they try to avoid Tommy John at all costs.
Totally.
Right.
Yes, it's like
because it's such a long, arduous rehab.
Totally. And he'll miss almost the entire season, if not the entire season, depending on what happens.
It's pretty much 365 days until you can pitch again.
Oh,
like in a game.
There it goes.
So, yeah. So you're not going to be seeing him this year because it's not going to happen.
Well, luckily we have some young talent in the farm system, but that doesn't mean they're ready.
There you go. Right.
Certainly not ready to step in and be an ace like Sevy was.
Yeah.
But that's not the only injury we have working for us. We got a lot more. So Giancarlo Stanton is likely to miss opening day because his leg has a boo-boo.
Yeah. From what I saw was he hurt his calf somehow warming up.
Yeah.
Like, man.
I hate to be flippant about it, but it's like, here we go again. Reinforcing the worst decision we've made in ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you know what? I feel like it's one of those things where you may not have, like, these are all like freak injuries, right?
Yeah.
I don't feel like this is something you could have seen coming. That maybe he had a couple of injuries here or there in Miami, but at the same time, it's like, are they going to continue, or is he going to, or are our trainers going to be able to work it out and keep him from pulling muscles and hurting his shoulder or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's not, because they're not consistent. There's no consistency to the injuries.
Right. You can't like walk the chain. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about it all, is that they're all unrelated. So I don't know, man.
It makes me wonder, like, we talk about a lot of people talk about the physique of a ball player, right? What does the ideal ball player look like? What is he built like? Things like that. And I wonder if maybe we've met the limit. It's like the human body is incapable of performing at peak performance at a certain, size.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, he's huge.
Yeah, I know.
He is huge. He could play any position just about in the NFL.
Yes.
And be successful. And you look at him and Judge, because Judge is what? Judge is an inch taller than Stanton, is that right?
I think so. I don't know the specifics, but I think so.
But their body types are completely different.
Yeah, they are.
Because Judge just looks like a tall person.
Yeah.
Whereas Stanton looks like a freak of nature because he's just that big, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think you might be right that he just might be too built and his body just can't handle it, because, Judge gets hurt, and I just feel like that's part of the nature of being a big guy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's more proportionate, top to bottom. He just looks like a person who's been enlarged in Photoshop or something. Like the picture next to Jose Altuve on second base.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they're the same size. They just made Judge bigger.
Yeah, right.
That's all that looks like. So,
little freeform transform there. That's what they call it.
Yeah,
in
exactly
Photoshop.
Right. There you go. I don't know all the lingo. But
it's
yeah,
fine.
you can help me out with that.
Well, and Judge has a shoulder injury as well, but that's fine. The real injury we should be talking about is Dustin Pedroia.
Yes, definitely, because that, I saw this, and the very first thing I thought of is this going to be it for him? Like the Red Sox put him on the 60-day IL, so he's not going to make opening day. Who knows when he'll actually be available? And this is an injury that's gone back to the 2017 season, since he hasn't played since April 17th of 2019, and he's only played in 9 games since 2017.
Oh, it's heartbreaking.
Like, it really is.
Yeah.
It is, because, I mean, somebody who's nicknamed the Laser Show,
right?
He didn't get that nickname from nowhere, right?
Playing 105 games a season consistently. Over 100 games a season. 100. That was it. That was just leading up to the injury.
Yeah. That 2017 he played 105 games, but before that, he was 130. He played 159, 160, 135, 154.
See, that's what I saw. Yeah.
So he's played. Yeah, so he's a guy you can depend on, but since that injury, and anybody who doesn't know the injury, there was a collision at second base back when Manny Machado was still with the Orioles, is when this happened.
Listen,
so
Manny Machado is a hell of a ball player, but this one incident makes him the villain forever.
It does, because it could be potentially what ended Pedroia's career and kept him out of the Hall of Fame.
Could be, because if this is it, 4 All-Star appearances.
Yeah, if he's not able to,
it's tough, man.
And granted, he has a rookie of the year and an MVP under his belt. But he's, like you said, only 4 All-Star appearances. It feels like he was an All-Star more years than that and should have made it. But at the same time, though, I mean, he's what? Let's see, where is it? He is 36 now.
Yeah.
So this injury happened when he was 34. That's 2 years on the back end of what could have potentially been his prime.
Yeah.
That he could have, accumulated some more stats and padded his resume to get into the Hall of Fame. And I just don't think it's going to happen.
Well, his
now.
career WAR sits at
Unfortunately.
51.7 right now. And,
Yeah.
he's 1,800 hits, 140 home runs, lifetime batting average 299. It's just like for such an iconic guy who was so pivotal for that organization and in baseball at large. I mean, this guy, you're right. I mean, it's just so sad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bummer that could possibly be the reason why he doesn't get into the Hall. And I mean, he was on the trajectory. We all thought, future Hall of Famer Dustin Pedroia, and maybe he will get in for those first 6 years of his career.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Who's to say? Who's to say at this point? I don't know anything of what the voters think. I mean, maybe he won't get in with the traditional with the baseball writers, but he'll get in with like the historian, whatever. I can't think of what they're called right now. But yeah, the other group. Yeah, the committee.
Yeah, maybe so.
So maybe he'll get in with those guys.
We've clearly shown
I don't know.
that we don't understand what the baseball writers want to see.
It's true. Nobody knows, because we still don't know why that one guy.
Yeah, nobody knows,
or even who it was,
Still at large.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Well, let's go ahead and take a break, and when we get back, Brig and I are actually going to talk. I don't know ask each other some questions.
Pop quiz time, baby.
Yeah, there we go. Pop quiz time when we get back.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back with me. Root, root, root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Shop kids' baseball shirts at 9pluss.com.
Welcome back, baseball family. All right, I had a pretty fun idea, okay? I want to do a pop quiz segment, and Brad was a little nervous.
I'm not good at asking these like leading questions like you are. I do pretty well with the rundown because I can ask like 1 or 2 word questions, but man, that was always the thing I struggled with when I was doing the sports writing thing, that I'm not a good interviewer, so.
Well, look, man, this is just supposed to be fun, okay? So chill out a little bit.
It was like leaking confidence as you were pitching this idea. Like, oh no.
See, I often have the opposite. You're like, let's do this, and I'm like, okay. Anyway, that's behind the scenes. Here's the deal. I told Brad, I said, let's pop quiz each other. Let's do, a handful of questions, baseball questions that we've never asked each other or that are kind of off the wall, whatever. And he said, well, like what? And I said, bro, Google first date questions and baseball them. So that's what we did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to have fun with this. Here, my first question. You ready, Brad?
Yeah, I'm ready.
We're going to need some fun music for this, okay?
Oh.
So all right.
Yeah, we'll have music, don't worry.
If the Seattle Mariners were a beverage, what would it be?
I would have to say they'd be root beer.
Ooh.
Because there's a lot to like about them because they're fun, but at the same time, like there's some times where it's just like, I can't do root beer with that. And there's some people who just straight up like cannot handle root beer. I had a friend who's like, no, it tastes like medicine. I will not drink it. And I was like, I understand that. I get it. So Anybody who's like, yeah, no, I can't. I would never like the Mariners. Like, no, I understand that. I get it. Because they're terrible, and they have been terrible for a long time. So I'd say
well
root beer.
played, sir. Dang, that was good.
So, that's a good question. I like that.
Thank you.
I like that. Okay. All right, Brig, are you ready?
I'm ready, man.
What's the weirdest thing that's ever happened to you in or at a baseball game?
Oh, but that's easy. I have two answers. I'll share the one I've never shared publicly, ever.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, and then I'll share. And if we have time, I'll share the other one.
Okay.
Okay. This is so embarrassing. All right, I remember being super super young. It was probably coach pitch or something. I don't know. I was young though, and I did not care about the game we were playing. It was at night, and I was stuck out in center field, and I had been there for inning after inning after inning. And I was like, forget this is dumb, right? I'm not doing this anymore. So I literally was focused on the dandelions in the grass. And I remember I still never got there's no fly balls, nothing ever happened. And I spent my time in the outfield kicking dandelions.
How old were you, did you say?
It was coach pitch. So
okay.
like 8?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
6 or 8 or I don't know, 7. I don't know, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's probably the weirdest thing, because there's always the joke about the kid out in the outfield doing nothing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, picking flowers and stuff. I have had that experience.
Yeah. Oh, last year in T-ball, I was standing out in the outfield with Wilson, and he lays down. I was like, Wilson, you got to stand up in case they hit the ball out too. He's like, but Dad, I'm stuck in the mud. Is grass, hadn't rained in days, it's dry. There's no mud.
I can see that. T-ball's so funny, man.
It's so funny.
Kids
Hilarious.
are like, I can't leave the base. It's lava.
Yeah. The grass is lava. I'm on the base.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a few times this is my base. This is my base. You can't stand on it.
I'm not leaving my base.
So I get the dandelion thing. I get it.
Totally, man. All right. What is your favorite baseball rule?
My favorite baseball rule?
Yeah.
Ooh, man. One. I don't know if I have a favorite one, but one that I think is fun is like actually kind of cool. So, have you ever noticed how you never see guys stick their hat up to catch a ball?
Yes.
The reason for that is because if you catch the ball in your hat, it's a 3-base error, and the runner can try for home if they want to. So they for sure get to third, and then if like they're still trying to like corral the ball or whatever, by the time you get to third base, they can try for home.
So why do you think that's fun?
It's funny. It's so random. Like,
yeah, okay.
Like, why 3 bases if you catch it in your hat? You know, just like give them first base, give them second base, whatever. 3 bases? That's a triple. That's a triple, man. 3 bases for catching the ball in your hat. It's like it's so funny.
I'm sitting here like, okay, who did that? And,
I know.
And number 2, who got super upset about it?
So, I'll tell you how I found out about that too. So there was one year, I can't remember which brand it was, but I bought some packs of baseball cards, and they had know the rules card in there every once in a while, and I got one.
Yeah.
And Barry Bonds did it in the 90s. He caught the ball in his hat. I can't remember who hit it, but it was like an illustration of like a cartoon of Barry Bonds on the card catching the ball in his hat, and that's how I learned that rule.
Nice.
So either A, if you're playing baseball, softball, whatever, don't catch the ball in your hat, and B, if you see somebody do it, call them out on it. You get 3 bases, man.
Yeah.
That's legit.
Yep. Look, dude, you just enabled all of the parents listening. They already screaming at the umpires, bro. We don't need Blackjack Brad, poisoning the water hole here. Come on. Just kidding. Oh, that's
I'm arming
funny.
you
That's
with
a good
knowledge. That's what I'm doing.
one. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you call it what you want, Blackjack Brad.
That's right. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Okay. All right. So, of all the current proposed rule changes we've seen in the last year, which of all of those rules do you think will stick, and why?
Wow, that's a great question. I think that robot umpire is going to stick.
Yeah. And every
It's
rule
either-
that
it-
comes with it.
Well, no, maybe not.
No?
Maybe the pitch clock. I don't know, man. Yes, I'm going to say that the implementation of robot umpires is my answer. I don't know that the current set of rules and doctrine around that will stay.
Okay.
But I do think we will have a robotic strike zone forever, eventually. Doesn't mean I
Okay.
agree with it. It just means that's what I think will stay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that. And do you think it's one of those things that's going to come and go, or do you think it's like once it's here, it's here?
I don't. I think that we will meet so much resistance that it won't need a trial by fire period. I think that there will be so much vetting that happens that if it does come and stay, it'll stay forever.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel the same way. I feel the same way about it.
Yeah.
So I like that. Good answer. Good answer.
Thanks, man. All right. What to you, in your opinion, what is the best job in baseball?
The best job in baseball.
All
gotta
of
be-
baseball.
All of baseball. It's got to be one of the kid jobs, like either the foul ball guy or girl down the foul line,
The
who gets to
bucket
sit.
sitters.
Yeah, the bucket sitters. Either that or the bat boy.
Mm.
I know there's a whole lot more that goes into being the bat boy than just like what you see with getting the bats and stuff, but one of those two jobs has to be like the best.
Nice.
And it's because it's like just sitting down the line and like getting a chance to field the ground ball every once in a while, like that's awesome. That's so fun to me. But then also with the bat boy, there's something about just carrying that lumber around that's so satisfying. And the sound of the wood bats hitting each other as you like put two or three back where they're supposed to go, whatever, like
Yeah.
just getting to feel the wood bats all the time. Like I think that would be awesome. I think those would be so cool. In fact, we went to there's a video on the YouTube channel. Wilson and I went to a Boise Hawks game last year, and on our way home, and actually he's asked me this in the last couple weeks. He said, "Dad, can I be a bat boy?" And I said, "We're sure gonna see if we can make it happen."
You'll make that happen.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was
Nice.
really proud of him that he asked that. I thought that was cool that that's something he wanted to do. So
That's cool, man. You got a cool kid though. He's a special kid.
I think
For
so
sure.
most of the time. I mean, he has his moments, but
Oh yeah, every kid's
what
a
kid
turd.
doesn't? What
Yeah,
kid doesn't?
for sure.
No, he's
Yeah,
a cool
man.
kid. He's a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun.
He totally is. Totally awesome.
Okay, now Brig, are you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
What was the best experience you have ever had with a player?
Oh.
With like minor league, major league, whatever, any player.
Whoa. All right, that's easy. I had an opportunity last year to participate in a charitable function at the Ronald McDonald House here in town.
Oh, that's right. I
And-
remember that.
Yeah, and they had a couple of players from the Greenville Drive out there, and we got talking, and every time, I don't care how big or small the stage is, whenever you get a ball player, on the professional track, not in front of a microphone, not trying to please somebody, not trying to live up to whatever brand they're building of themselves, you get them one-on-one, or you get a couple of players talking together, and they are wicked down to earth, usually, right? 9 times out
Yeah,
of 10,
yeah,
maybe
typically,
9.5 times out of 10. They're really humble. They're really grateful to be there. They're grateful to be a part of the community, especially minor leaguers when they're moving up and they're always dancing around different towns. Anyway, so I think at least recently, that was the coolest experience.
That is cool. That is
Yeah.
cool. And especially guys in the minor leagues, like that's such a humbling experience to be playing minor league ball. I mean, it has to be. Has to be.
Totally.
So that's cool. That's awesome. I like that.
Thanks. Okay. Would you rather have an at bat? Okay. Would you rather step into the box and face Randy Johnson, Bob Gibson,
Oh, jeez.
or Roger Clemens?
Oh my gosh. Now, jeez.
Just think about the implications.
Oh, yeah, every one of those guys will hit you without even thinking twice.
For sure. Bob
honestly,
Gibson
though,
might not even know you're there.
it's true. It's true.
He's like,
But to be honest, to be quite honest, I would out of the three of those, I would rather face Roger Clemens, and let me tell you why.
whoa, I did not see that coming. Okay. I'm excited about this.
So Bob Gibson, because I always like to stand kind of close to the plate, and he was not about that. So he's going to throw out my head to get me a backup, and I've been hitting the head with the fastball. I'm not about to have that happen again.
Yeah.
So Bob Gibson off the list. Randy Johnson, for some reason, growing up, like I did not get my first hit off of a left-hander until I was 16 years old because I couldn't see the ball out of the left-hander's hand. I don't know what it was. I don't know why, but it was just like a mental block. I couldn't see it.
Totally.
So I wouldn't want 103 coming from a lefty, much less a 95-mile-an-hour slider potentially. That I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know where it's going. So I wouldn't want to face Randy Johnson. Roger Clemens, because he's just going to try to gas it by me.
Yeah.
You give me 4 or 5 of those, I might be able to like almost get the bat off my shoulder by the time it gets to the catcher's glove.
Right. Yes.
But I don't feel like he's going to hit me just to hit me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's good.
that's
Dude.
why I go with the Rocket, Roger Clemens.
You broke that all the way down, bro. That was that was high quality answer right there. And I happen to agree with everything you said. Yeah.
Excellent. Very
That was
good.
great. Solid, bro.
All right. Okay, are you ready for the next one?
I'm ready.
What's your very earliest, and I can't remember if we've talked about this or not, but either I'm going to ask you right now. What's your very earliest baseball memory?
You did ask me this once before, but I gave you the most potent memory.
Okay.
And it's like
Yeah,
the
that's
saddest
right, yeah.
story ever. But, okay. My earliest baseball memory. Dang. It would probably have to be the day I really discovered baseball cards.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
And,
there you go.
You know, and I was like, oh, because we watched baseball growing up, and my dad was really involved in my baseball life growing up. And so I think I would have to say that I have like whispering memories of those, but they're very vague. But the day I discovered baseball cards was a huge deal. I must have been at school or something and had come home with one, or maybe somebody told me about them or showed me them, and I was like, what the crap is that? It's like the coolest thing ever. So I get home, and, you know, we didn't have a lot of money growing up at all. So especially at that age, I must have been, oh, man, like 5 or 6, 7 at the oldest, probably 6 or 7, actually. That's when I had a brain. Anyway, I tell my dad about these pictures of baseball players on these cards, and he said, yeah, come here, I want to show you something. Walked me down to his office in the basement. He had a home office, and he pulled out this box from a storage unit or from a storage closet, and it was this cardboard box, and he pulled it out, and there were stacks and stacks and stacks of cards, football cards, baseball cards. And he pulls out a wad of rubber banded baseball cards, and he whips off the rubber band, and he starts flicking these through. And I was like, I didn't know who they were, right? Like I had no idea until I was 15. And I went back, you know, for the 100th time to look at my dad's collection of baseball cards, and it was like Roberto Clemente and Goose Gossage was in there, and I mean he had some players that were like crazy awesome, and I didn't get it certainly at the time.
Yeah.
All I knew was here was this new experience that I was having, connecting with the game of baseball for the first time, really like emotionally outside of my dad. And then I went and had this experience, and I brought it to my dad, and he was ready to share that experience in real time with his own connection that he'd made years or like almost 30 years earlier, you know? And
yeah.
no, dude, it was like this mind-blowing. So I think that's probably my earliest memory of baseball.
That's cool. That's really cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah, thanks.
That's great.
I would have to
Very
say.
good.
All right.
Very cool.
Thank you. I'm going to pull this up. It's your last question. You ready?
Yeah.
So I have this fantasy. It's totally illogical. That if every team could pick one player who's ever lived to be immortal and stay on the team, they stay on the same team forever. You never
In their prime?
You never have to draft for that position ever again. They're never going to get injured. They're going to show up every day. They're going to give you 100% every day. They're going to evolve every day. Every year they get better. They keep pace with the best as the best the game can provide, etc. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who would you want to be that guy in Seattle?
That's easy. Junior. That's that.
All time?
Yeah, you've got yeah. I mean, you've got Babe Ruth, and you got Mickey Mantle,
Sure.
Joe DiMaggio, Ty Cobb, all those guys.
Right.
But who changed the game athletically? I mean, we can go back to Roberto Clemente because there was nobody like him.
True.
At his time,
Absolutely.
right? But at the time, who was the 5-tool player in his era?
It's Junior for
Griffey.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So, yeah, Griffey in his prime, like 96, 97 Griffey.
Yeah.
And only improving from there, because after that, the injuries started to kind of pile up a little bit. You know, he went to Cincinnati and had some hamstring injuries and things like that.
Yeah.
But if you can have late 90s Griffey continuing to get better, I don't know who would be better than him ever. Legitimately do not know who would be better than him ever. So
wow.
That's my answer.
Wow. Good answer.
So
I didn't see
Thank
you
you.
picking Griffey. I mean,
who'd you think I was going to pick?
I don't know, but I didn't think you'd pick a player that was that young in the history.
And see, I do think some of it, there might be some recency bias that he's the guy who I grew up watching.
Sure.
You know? But the electricity that comes with him is unbeatable. And especially if you've ever been in the stadium with Griffey, man, that it's unreal. It is absolutely unreal.
Yeah.
So,
he does have an effect. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
great answer.
all right. Brig, last question.
Okay.
What do you think baseball will look like in 100 years?
Oh. Okay. I think it'll look exactly the same.
With robot umpires?
Yeah. I mean, some of those things will change, and they'll come and go. I don't think the robot umpires are going to leave once they show up, but it might be 50 years till they get here. I don't know.
At this rate, yeah.
But I think that essentially the game will stay the same. It'll be 90 feet between bases. It'll be 60 feet 6 inches to the mound. It's going to be, the outfield dimensions will stay relatively the same depth. There will always be a warning track. You know what I mean? The mound will always be the same height. The rubber will always be the same. I mean, dimensionally, which I think is critical, I think it's always going to stay the same. This BS about moving the mound back during the postseason, like, nobody's going to let that happen. Like, what is he trying?
No, that it can't.
What are they trying to get over on us without us knowing about it? Because they're enraging us with this idea. Like, I'm thinking, what's the left hand doing if that's what the right hand is showing us? Anyway, where's the knife?
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? Where's the knife? Because that is absolutely ridiculous. It's so ridiculous, it makes me nervous. What kind of subterfuge are we not knowing about, and are we being distracted from? Anyway, I think that in 100 years, baseball is going to essentially be exactly the same way it is now. Obviously, I hope that's true, but I do think that there are enough of us that will help maintain it at its in its purest form.
Nice.
Yeah.
And when I thought of that question, I thought the same thing. 90 feet, 60 feet, 60 feet, 6 inches, outfield, all that. My only thought was some kind of protective equipment elsewhere. Like maybe pitchers have something. Batters have not like cricket protection, but like, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's some kind of like facial coverage, not even like a softball helmet, but they'll figure something out. I don't know. 100 years is a long time.
Yeah, but that kind of stuff, I don't know that it's terribly different. Like, the catcher's equipment needs to be improved, for sure. We got to find a way for umpires behind the plate to have more protection, because those dudes take a beating when it happens. It doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, it's bad. And so, things like that, of course, they're going to change. We need to extend the nets. Hashtag extend the nets, man. Get that all the way out. And I hate it, but I hate looking through the nets, but we got to have them, because I'd rather not go to the hospital or have some kid go to the hospital, or die.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, essentially, it's going to be the same.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have actually something to share on umpires later.
Great.
So, hey, before we take a break, you want to drop that exclusive discount code real quick?
Oh, this is such a perfect time. Yeah, the discount code is BTPOD. Bravo Tango
B
Papa Oscar Delta. B
like baseball together pod.
Exactly
BT
right.
pod.
BT pod 10 or 15. Actually, you know what?
So BT
no,
pod 15.
Let's just do BT pod.
Okay. All right, BT pod. It's going to be on the screen on YouTube. It'll be right
BT pod.
there.
It's 15% off the 42 collection.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
And,
I like it a
you'll
lot.
see the hat in the next segment. I'll pull it on.
Very cool. Very cool. So let's go ahead and take a break, and then we'll come back. And Brig will be wearing his 42 hat, and we're going to talk about a rule that came down this week with pickoffs. Hey, babe, I'm headed to concessions. Do you want me to grab you something?
Yeah, anything, whatever you're getting.
Okay, I saw a burger. I'll probably grab that.
No, that doesn't sound good.
Okay, I think there's barbecue, probably some nachos.
I don't think I want either of those either. But just get me anything.
What do you want?
I saw a hot dog earlier.
Okay, I can do that.
Well, no.
Couples may quarrel, but baseball is for lovers. Shop the Lovers Collection at 9plusus.com.
Welcome back, baseball family. As we mentioned, it is Friday, February 28th.
Boom.
We had a rule come out today, right? This is just today this came out?
Today.
Yeah, today was the first time I heard of it.
Before we talk about that, can I show him the new hat?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Show him your hat, Brig.
God, Brad. Oh. Just don't need this much negativity in my life.
Too much.
All
Anyways,
right.
show him your hat.
Check it out. This hat is blue. It comes with the 9plusus logo. Where is it? There it is on the side. And we decided to go with this one, the blue one, in gray. It's like a shimmery, silvery, metallic gray. And there it is on the front. Oh, it looks so good. Oh, it's so good. It's in 3D puff. Sorry for those of you on audio. You'll see it. You'll see
You'll
it.
get to see it, yeah.
Go 9plusus.com. That's how you get a hold of this, okay? It's available right now. Don't forget the discount code is BTPOD. Okay, BTPOD. Anyway, the 3D puff, it's raised stitching. Man, it looks so good. Green undervisor, as always. Well, not always, but we do prefer that if it's at all possible. So I'm going to go ahead and take off this 9plusus hat right here in our heathered gray, which looks amazing. And I'm going to go ahead and put on my new 42 hat. Now, this hat, I'll show you. Some of our hats come in 6 panels. You can see the seam on the ball cap coming down the front. This one is a 5 panel. So it's got that nice pinch in the front. There we go. Right? There's no stitch. There's no seam running down through the middle here. Which I think is kind of nice. Actually makes it a little more comfortable, so there's not a bump right here you have to contend with. This hat is going to come in a couple of different colors, gray, white, corresponding stitch colors. Don't worry about it. Just go check it out.
There's also black.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, it looks sharp. It's real good. We're going to have a link to all the 42 stuff on the podcast in the description, in the YouTube description, everywhere. You'll be able to find this stuff pretty easily. And don't forget BT Pod for 15% off 42 stuff.
And don't forget that April 15th is the day you want to have this in by. So,
right. Yeah.
That's the point.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. All right, Brig.
Okay, man.
Should we talk about a new rule that's being proposed? Okay. So now, they're calling this, I think it's called the step-off rule is probably what they're going to call it. Step-off rule. That's what I'm going to call it. How's that?
Some more soda in my mug. I'm like leaning over and I'm being all weird. Sorry, everybody.
All right. Let's break down the step-off rule a little bit, okay?
Okay.
So this is going to be in play with pitchers making a pickoff move to any base now, okay?
Right.
So previously, especially with left-handers, you could just throw to the base as long as you had not committed to throwing home.
Yes.
Which means that your foot, when you step, especially for left-handers first base, there's a 45-degree angle that's kind of the marker, like the cutoff.
Yeah.
So if you step on the first base side, you got to throw to first. You step on the home plate side of that 45-degree angle, you've got to go home. Now, Andy Pettitte was famous for this. He had that fantastic pickoff move where he would kind of hover for a second, and then he would go, and he was really, really close to that 45-degree angle, and he'd pick off guys all the time because it looked like he was going home, but he'd throw to first and get guys leaning towards second a little bit, trying to get their secondary lead or even steal. So what this rule does, oh my gosh, I just hit my microphone.
Nix it.
What it does is... No more. That's right. It nixes it. So if a left-handed pitcher wants to throw to first base, he has to pull his left foot off the rubber, put it behind it, and then throw. Kind of like what would be more natural for a right-hander to do.
Yeah.
Even though you can kind of do like the pivot. But anyways, so yeah, you have to put your foot behind the rubber before you can throw to a base. Okay. That goes for first base, second base, third base, even as a right-hander.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Always have to step off. So, Brig, first, I want your opinion on this. What do you think of this? What do you think of this new rule?
I mean, I think it's going to cripple pitchers, some of them. John Lester's not going to care. You know what I mean?
He's still going to throw a bounce pass.
Yeah, man. Or if at all. If he
does it
pass. At all, yeah. Well played, sir. A bounce pass. It's true. It's true. Some pitchers won't care, and I think those that do care maybe will stop caring. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I think that the pickoff move, if done successfully, is a hugely valuable tool. So
it's true.
If you're a pitcher, you should be super, super upset about this. And now, I don't know if you mentioned this already, but they're only going to implement this for like single A down right now. It's not.
Yeah, it's going to be really low to start. Really, really low to start.
We're just going to try it out and see what happens. I don't know. But people have been copying Andy Pettitte for years and years. But I think I'll bet I know what you're going to say. I bet I know what you're going to say. I'll bet you're going to say, because we haven't talked about this, but I'll bet you're going to say that it's going to put more pressure on the catchers. And it's which could be good, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to increase base stealing.
Yeah. But there's kind of a parent for this rule. There's a rhyme to the reason.
Well, tell us,
okay.
Bed.
So this comes from robot umpires. It's all encompassing, and let me tell you why. So, and this point right here is actually something that somebody had expressed on the VIP group a long time ago, the Facebook group, when we talked about robot umpires. I think it was Jason D'Agostino said that he was surprised I was for robot umpires because it takes away framing.
Yeah.
Catchers can no longer frame. Now, as a catcher, when somebody steals a base, what you have to do is you have to stay low and completely receive the ball.
First.
Keep hitting my mic, boom. So you have to completely receive the ball so the umpire can see where it ends up, which is stupid. They should be able to see where it crosses the plate. But anyways.
They're humans. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to completely receive the ball where it's supposed to be. And you have to be down so the umpire can see, right?
Yes.
That's eliminated completely with robot umpires.
True.
The umpire doesn't have to see where the ball crosses the plate.
True.
So you can straight up as a catcher be almost standing up, like springing up and catching the ball almost at your waist if you want to get the ball down to second base, because there's no more framing. There's no more completely receiving the ball before you can jump up out of your crouch.
Look at you, Brad.
So that's what this is doing. Okay, it's making it more fair for the base runners. Okay, because if a pitcher has to completely step off the rubber before he can throw it, you can take an extra step, maybe two, in your lead.
Totally.
Because as a base runner, I was not very fast, but I felt like where I lacked in speed, I made up for being smart. Like I knew where I lacked in speed, but I knew what was going to happen with the ball. That being said, I was terrified to lead off first base with a left-handed pitcher.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrified. Yes. Like I was to the point where if there was a left-handed pitcher, because I had such a hard time reading him and had such a bad history with him, that I wouldn't get any farther off than I could just like fall back onto the base.
Yeah.
like that's how bad it was. So what this does is it allows guys even with left-handed pitchers to get a bigger lead, right? Yes. And so yes, it is going to encourage base running, which I love because I love stealing bases.
I do too.
It's going to put more pressure, a ton more pressure on the catchers because guys are going to be running way more often. Yeah. And gosh dang it, if I don't love a play at second when a catcher makes an awesome throwdown, you got like especially Javi Baez making those no-look tags.
Dude,
I need more of it. I need more of it. And we're going to get more of it.
More of it. Yes. I agree with you, bro.
So that's where this rule comes from, and that's why it's not just like, well, we're sick of guys getting picked off. No, you've got to help the base runners there with that robot umpire. Like you can't have a double threat of the pitcher, just being able to hold basically guys hostage on the base, right? By being able to make some kind of janky move like the Pettit move, and then catchers being able to receive the ball almost standing up, So you got to do something to help out the base runners here. And they did it. They did this in the Atlantic League last year when they had the robot umpires, and they said that they saw an uptick of like maybe about a base run or a stolen base every game.
Yes.
So it's not a bunch, but it cuts down on the double plays a little bit because guys can, like we said, get farther off the base. You get a little bit more of a head start towards second base. Cuts down on double plays, which means innings are going to be extended. Mm-hmm. So more offense, which we like, right?
Yes.
More running the bases.
Yeah.
So more bunting, probably.
I want more bunting. That's what I want.
I don't know, because if you've got a guy who's leading off a third of the way, quarter of the way to second base, you're more likely to bunt him over than you are to try to hit the ball over the outfielder's head.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying, I like the rule, and that's why.
Now, I think that those numbers that we got to see in the minor leagues last season when they did the robot umpire thing will transfer in sort of like a projection, I guess. What is the right word? When they get bigger, the further out you get, it'll compound as it reaches the major leagues, because in the minor leagues they're dabbling, right? They're trying things, they're experimenting. What can I do? What am I comfortable with? What am I capable of? What has my training going to kick in right now? But you get into the major leagues, and that some of that's going on still, but mostly it's practitioners, right? These people, like Ricky Henderson's the easy example. That dude was a base running practitioner. That's if I live to see another Ricky Henderson, I'll be so happy.
Oh yeah,
So happy.
I love guys trying to steal bases. And you know what? I was listening to the Mariners game today, and they were like 4 for 5 on stolen bases.
What?
5 for 6, something like that. I was like, yes, the Mariners running bases. I love it. I don't care if you lose. Freaking try to take second base. It's awesome.
I love it.
Fantastic. And I think we're going to see so much more of it if this rule gets put into place. So, like we said, Atlantic League last year, which is the independent league, we call it the circus, the petri dish kind of. They experimented with it, and it seemed like it worked, along with the robot umpire.
In tandem.
Yeah. And so this year we're going to see it in low minor league baseball, like short season A, rookie ball, it sounds like. So if you have a chance, go watch some short season A and some rookie ball, because there's going to be some movement on the base pass, I think. It's going to be a whole lot of fun.
I think you're right, man, and that's a huge deal.
It is, especially with what we've seen now. The approach with, launch angle and everything, it's you've got a guy on first base, you don't want him to get out. So you're hitting a solo home run instead of a 2-run home run. So that's why guys aren't stealing bases.
That's exactly why.
Because with certain catchers, the odds are against you is trying to steal second, and when you're trying to hit a home run every pitch, it hurts you, obviously mathematically if a guy's getting thrown out of second base. But with this, I mean, it could really change the game, kind of swing the pendulum back in the way that we want it to be.
I agree with you. I got to have more of that small ball.
Yeah. It's more exciting. Way more exciting than strikeouts.
I agree.
So much more exciting than strikeouts.
Look, I'd be willing.
So, I mean,
never mind. I won't say it.
Well, I was just gonna say that I as much as I love pitching, like I love watching a great pitcher. As much as I like watching that, I love watching guys going around the bases. Still second, heck, still third, still home, whatever. Just get things moving.
Still home for sure,
and that's what it'll do.
I love it, man. I think it's awesome.
Me too. I'm excited for this. I saw this today and got really excited about it. But baseball family, let us know what you think about it. Is it adulterating the game that we love? I mean, yeah, a pickoff move is fun, but what's more fun is watching guys run bases. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us on this? Do you think that it's going to completely change the game for the worse? Tell us on Facebook. Join the Facebook group. You can tell us on YouTube. You can submit to the mailbag your comments, and we'll go ahead and share it with the listeners, with the baseball family. Whatever you want, we'll go ahead and do it here. And we want to have some conversation with you guys about it.
Let's talk about stuff, man. And while we're talking about stuff, let's talk about these sweet T-shirts. Do you like that? That was pretty good, right?
That's right. That was good. That was a good little
Thanks,
transition.
man.
I like that.
So this is our 9+Us hat for those of you watching on the YouTube channel. This is our heathered gray ball cap. It's super sweet. We have all kinds of stuff. We have baseball T-shirts with the 3/4 length raglan sleeves, tank tops, kids stuff. Dude, I get compliments. If you haven't seen the Foul Lines T-shirts, you got to go look at the Foul Lines, 9plusus.com.
Oh yeah.
Those are some of my favorite T-shirts. I was showing somebody the other day. I navigated to the shop, handed my phone over, and they were like, "What? That's amazing! You have one for every team?" And I said, "Nope, I have one for every city." So
that's right.
So depending on where your city, where your ball club plays, you can search by that, or you just go up to the catalog and you can search by Cleveland. You can search for New York. Queens and the Bronx. You can search for L.A. and L.A. By the way, how do you think Mookie Betts is doing in L.A.? I wanted to ask you that. Do you think he's having a lot of fun in L.A.?
Well, I mean, right now he's in Phoenix.
Oh, my gosh.
I think he is going to have fun.
I think you're right. Anyway, you can sort by whatever city you want to represent. And all your stuff will be, categorized to fit your needs in the catalog. So jump on 9plusus.com. Check out something new. Don't forget that opening day is, I think, 26 March this year. So we're coming up on it pretty fast. It feels earlier. I think it was the 29th last year, so it's a little earlier this year. And don't forget to check out the 42 collection and grab it up before April 15th, because that's when you're going to want it.
That's right. Absolutely. In fact, that foul line collection, that's going to be my next one. My next one's going to be a foul line shirt. Yep, I already decided that.
Dude,
next shirt.
People stop me. I'll wear it on the next show if I can remember that far out. But people stop me and they say, "What is that? What is that?" And most of the time, I get people who don't understand, and then I explain it, and they're like, "Oh, that's cool." And then there's occasionally somebody will go, "Hey, that's pretty slick," because it's just subtle enough,
It is cool. Yeah.
Anyway.
I like it. But Baseball family, we talked about the mailbag on Baseball Together. You can stop by Baseball Together. You can read about baseball. You can also watch and listen to the podcast there. We have every episode up there for you. And Baseball family, thank you for joining us this week. We will catch you next week.